up, y'all? It's Gohan Pro Life. Finally got a shirt to match the name, kind of. So this is my first video in about 2 months. I know when I started this, I said I wanted to try to make a video every week or so. That clearly, it was going okay for a little while, but it's clearly not happening. Uh, to my maybe 5 viewers out there and 0 subscribers, I apologize. So that was a joke. But anyways, I want to get into this video today. There's been pro-choice argument I've come across a lot more lately. Um, it's that abortion is better for the fetus than being given up for adoption or going into the foster care system. Uh, one obvious example of this is, so I'm making this video a little bit after the Tokyo Olympics, where Simone Biles was kind of a major headline. After it, she uh, put out a post either on Twitter or Instagram or one of those guys, saying how she is pro-choice. It's the woman's body, so it's the woman's choice, and how bad the foster care system is. Um, so that was her stance. Another video I've seen recently. There's a video out there of a pro-lifer. Her name is Classically Abby. That's not her name. That's her, I guess, YouTube handle. I guess. She is Ben Shapiro's little sister. Very pro-life. Makes a lot of arguments. Some people don't like them. Some people do. It's kind of up in the air. But either way, she made an argument, and a lot of people commented on it, and she was responding to these comments. One of the comments was about this topic, about how giving your kid up for the foster care system or for adoption is actually worse than aborting the kid for the kid. So for the kid, they're arguing that it's better to be aborted than to go through the foster care system. That's pretty much what Simone Biles was arguing as well. After that, somebody named Whitney, I think she has a big YouTube following. I'm not sure. This is an old video back from pandemic days of October 2020. So yeah, a little while ago. But she was making the same argument, and it's an argument that I've come across a lot, and it's just something I want to address. So first thing I'm going to try to do is steelman my opponent's argument. I'm going to try to use not just language that they would use, but I think maybe language that would even better their argument. So Simone Biles has been through the foster care system. She's been adopted by her grandpa, I think. And she said it was pretty rough. The only thing is I have no idea if she was a only kid or not. Usually it's worse if you have a brother or sister, just because kids get moved around a lot, and sometimes the brother and sister don't always get to remain with each other. So it is pretty rough. And what I'm saying is probably not really even touching on it. Just kind of not knowing where you're going to be, if the people you're with now is going to be your family, or are they going to kind of get ripped away, or the people that you're with now, do you really want them to be your family? Are they kind of either abusing you or not treating you well, or so the system can be hard, one, because of the family you get placed with, and two, because you might, even if you do end up liking and loving that family, you might get ripped away from them. And third thing is, if you have a blood relative who's in the foster care system with you, you might not make it out together. So it is very tough. think when I hear this argument, I don't really hear that enough. I just hear foster care system is terrible and needs to be redone, stuff like that. They don't really touch on how tough it is, and maybe that's just because there's they don't want to go into it for like time's sake. I'm not sure, but if I was a pro-choice person making this argument, I would go into more detail on how tough the foster care system is. You don't really hear much about adoption. That's because usually babies are adopted very early. Um, there's usually a long waiting line to adopt a baby. Um, Regardless if you think that's right or not, if you think that if you're willing to adopt a baby, you should also adopt a 5 or 10 year old or 18-year-old. Like that's a separate argument. But there's uh, very little chance that a newborn baby put up for adoption is not going to get adopted quickly. Very low chance that it's actually going to go through the foster care system and not be adopted. I would know that myself. I adopted just a little baby girl. She's going to be 5 months pretty soon. Um, she's got the biggest cheeks in the world. Very cute little girl. Um, there was a waiting line for us to adopt. Um, it went a little bit quicker, but that's just because we were kind of open for the adoption, whether it was a open adoption or um, we didn't put down any gender we wanted, didn't put down any race, didn't really care about any um, physical attributes the kid may have. If they have special needs, that wouldn't matter to us. And the mom or dad's drug history didn't matter to us either. So even when you are completely open, it's still a good couple months of waiting for an adoption for a newborn baby because there's more families and couples that want to adopt a newborn kid than there are newborn kids being put up for adoption. So there's that's kind of evidence that adoption really isn't the issue. It's more of the foster care system. So if I was going to steelman that pro-choice argument, it would be let's look into how bad the foster care system is. Compare that to abortion, where the baby doesn't or the fetus doesn't feel any type of pain, and you could just end their life right then. No suffering, no pain, nothing bad is going to happen to the baby that the baby is going to experience. So that's how I would steelman their argument. Um, so now I'm going to try to address this. One, I would like one example in life when it is okay to kill someone. So not just let them die, but actively kill them when to kind of diminish their suffering. I understand a lot of people will go with a euthanasia type example. One, I kind of already disagree with that. I don't think that's moral or should be allowed. But two, those people already have given their consent to be euthanized. A fetus can't give its consent to be euthanized. So if you wanted to make euthanasia applicable to this, you would have to say that either you're okay with euthanizing people who don't give their consent, or you think somehow the fetus can give its consent. You'd have to make an argument for either of those two, and I don't think that's possible. So, killing someone to ease their suffering is not something that should be allowed or moral. Another example I heard from Whitney was even if they go through the foster care system, there's still going to be scars and issues growing up in life where they're going to be wondering why they were given away or put up for adoption or put into the foster care system. Um, so that's uh, probably true. I've lately been talking to a lot of people who were adopted, and that it's still kind of scarring for them why they were kind of given away. I don't really like to use that language because I understand parents who give up their kid for adoption. It's not really like they're giving them away. They just understand there wasn't any other option that they were willing to choose. Um, but it is, from most people I've talked to, it is scarring. Um, Recently, I was watching Criminal Minds episode. Uh, these people, uh, Criminal Minds is kind of a dark show. Um, it's got a lot of like moral dilemmas, and this is not one that was represented in the show, but it doesn't help to use the show to point out a moral dilemma. Um, so obviously, people, if you were going to be scarred for life being in a show or having something happen to you that would happen in Criminal Minds would definitely scar you, probably for life. So if we go with that, we can make an example of cops coming in, rescuing somebody who is knocked out, who has obviously either been tortured or abused or about to be killed or all three. And let's say the cop notices this and is like, all right, well, this person has been uh, through a lot, and they're probably going to be scarred for life. So let's just use a bullet, end her misery. She's knocked out right now. She's not going to know any different. Um, it's going to save her pain in the future. So let's go ahead and do that. And that would be the moral thing to do. Obviously, that's that's something that, if ever done, the cop should be arrested and put for life in prison. Um, you don't get to make that judgment call for anybody else. It goes back to euthanizing somebody without their consent. It's not something that should be allowed. You don't get to make that call. And if somebody else is making the call, if it's the person themselves, I don't think they should get any assistance. But that's going a little bit off topic. The point is, you don't get to make the call to end somebody's life because of pain they might experience in the future. Um, that goes for any person, young, old, doesn't matter. The only thing I could understand is maybe you make the argument that a fetus is not a person, and that's a separate topic or a separate debate. I clearly think every human being is a person, and a fetus is scientifically a human being, so therefore the fetus is a person. But I understand that's not what most people think. So for this topic, the only way to really change my mind on this would be to uh, show that fetus is not a human being. If you could do that, I'd be on board. Other than that, though, I've already tried steel manning the pro-choice perspective on this issue. Um, Foster care system is tough, but my counterpoint is maybe being in a situation like Criminal Minds could scar you even worse than being in the foster care system. Um, Yet it's not moral to kill somebody who survived something like Criminal Minds had. So then it can't be moral to kill somebody who survives the adoption system or foster care system. All right. That's my video for the day. It's good to be back. First time back in a couple months. Um, I'll try to put out some more videos. Um, Again, it's not all going to be about abortion. It will be political too, or based on religion, or sometimes just about Dragon Ball Z. By the way, there is a new movie coming out, Dragon Ball Super Saiyan. Nope, Superhero. Um, Not really in love with the title, but it makes me think they might be using the Great Saiyan Man. So that means finally Gohan's not going to be either completely ignored like he was in Brawly, or get a little bit better action. Hopefully, nothing as embarrassing as Revenge Frieza. I'd be on board. Animation looks kind of cool. It's a little different, but it looks kind of cool. Um, Anyways, that's going to be it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.